you strike me down, I shall become more powerful than you could possibly imagine.
All right, I've been telling you guys that I was going to do some new things, some things that I've never done before. And one thing that I've never published before is a fan-made kit. So I actually like to do these. I've done several of them, and I almost published this one several months ago. This was back when Jedi Knight Revan and Darth Revan were the main meta. I don't even think Malik had come out yet. I was doing a lot of, I shouldn't say a lot of, but I had done this Let's Get Lit thing where I said I was going to push for some of the Star Wars literature characters to be added into the game. I think around that time they said that wasn't going to happen in one of their Q&As, and that kind of killed it for me. But that's okay. I'm going to bring this one back from the dead, and that one is Darth Bane. So Darth Bane is possibly my favorite Star Wars character. I absolutely love him. So there's a trilogy out there in the Legend series. So if any of you are planning on reading that but haven't yet and don't want any spoilers at all, you might turn the video off now. I'm not going to give major spoilers, but I do want to talk a little bit about Darth Bane and kind of why I did certain things in his kit. And if it's not obvious by the title and me saying a fan kit, this is something that I have created. Darth Bane. There's no reason to believe Darth Bane is coming to the game, that CG is going to do this. This is something just purely for fun, that I did in the past and kind of wanted to bring it out. So if you're only looking at things that are actually in the game and have no interest in what I create, this video isn't for you. Sorry. Those of you who like it, definitely let me know. If it does somewhat decent, I will publish some more of them. I've got a good Jar Jar Binks one. I probably should have started with that because he's a more popular character. But anyways, Darth Bane is known for his rule of two, and he kind of was the one that created that. I absolutely love him. He was super powerful. Realized that the Sith were basically destroying themselves and continuing to gang up on each other and making the Order weaker. He had this theory that there should only be two, a master and an apprentice, and that way the Sith line would always get stronger. The master would continue to rule until the apprentice was strong enough to defeat the master. Only then would the apprentice take over. Only then would the top Sith be knocked from his throne. And so as we progress through time, the Order had to continue to get stronger. In the past, essentially the Sith were the lesser Sith were ganging up on the top Sith, and it would take the Order down. So Darth Bane not only wiped out a ton of Jedi, he wiped out essentially the entire Sith line to get it down to two Sith. So I basically designed a kit around being heavy anti-Jedi, anti-Sith, since he destroyed both sides. I say destroyed. He killed a lot of Sith. He didn't destroy the Order, but he certainly took out his fair share. So we'll start with the leader ability, and like the kits that CG has been producing, this one is kind of a book, but it was fun. So Darth Bane gains Sith Master, and a random Sith ally gains Sith Apprentice. So I thought this would be fun to play, essentially pairing Darth Bane up with another Sith and creating your own unique combo of a rule of two. And you can use that with any Sith. If there's more than one Sith in there, so the goal would essentially be to have two Sith on a team. If you put more in there, it's random. All other Sith or Jedi gain Corrupted Battle Meditation, which cannot be dispelled. So that debuff that Bastille Fallen brings, if there's any Jedi or Sith on either side, they automatically get that for the entire battle. Sith Master, if you have the Sith Master tag, which is Darth Bane to start out with, gains stealth at the start of each encounter, and after using an ability, he is immune to all negative effects. So you can't target him unless you have like an AoE dispel or something like that. It's very hard to target him. You can't control him with debuffs or anything like that, so he's going to take his turns. He gains 100% health protection and turn meter when an ally is defeated. He cannot inflict passive debuffs on enemies or be immune to percent health effects. This is one I just added in there because giving somebody like Darth Malik the Sith Master tag would be way overpowered. So I gave a way to defeat him. How he no longer is immune to those percent health effects if he gets the Sith Master tag. And the way he would get the Sith Master tag is if he has Sith Apprentice. Then he also gains stealth at the start of each encounter and after using an ability, so it's hard to target the Apprentice. And that is because Darth Bane was a believer in essentially working under the shadows. Since there was only 2 Sith, he did all of his work in stealth, so that's why I like the stealth mechanic. But then if the Sith Master is defeated, gains Sith Master, the Sith Apprentice becomes the Sith Master and gains 100% of their stats and then takes a bonus turn. So if the Apprentice essentially defeats the Master, he becomes more powerful, gains all those stats, and essentially becomes extremely strong there. So that's kind of the leader and what it does. So it only benefits Darth Bane and whoever the Apprentice is. So we'll jump over to the unique here. So at the end of Darth Bane's turn, he inflicts Death Mark on a random ally without Sith Apprentice. So the Sith Apprentice doesn't get Death Mark, but any of the other allies can for 1 turn, and that cannot be resisted. The reason for that is Darth Bane was like most Sith was a believer in absolute power and would sacrifice whoever he needed to gain power to get to where he needed to go. And that's essentially what he's doing here, is sacrificing his own allies for his own benefit. Because then once they die, he's going to get that 100% turn meter, recover all the health, recover all the protection. And then Jedi and Sith take double damage from and cannot evade Darth Bane's attacks. So Darth Bane is going to hit very hard to begin with. He's going to hit even harder against Jedi and Sith. I mentioned how Darth Bane took out a lot of Jedi and Sith during his life, and that is what he is. He is an anti-Jedi, anti-Sith character. So we'll go back to the basic, and it is, you can kind of see it behind me, deal damage to target enemy and inflict stagger for 2 turns. 10k base damage, which is pretty hard for a basic attack. I would say these are scaled for the G13, so I was comparing them to the SWGOH.GG stats as far as damage goes. And then stagger, because Darth Bane, he's extremely powerful. He uses Form 5 lightsaber technique, which uses a lot of brute force, because he is also very physically strong. So him staggering opponents is something that is true to his character there. So that's why I added that debuff in. And then the big damage. So the thought bomb. This was something that happened in the book. So those of you who read that will understand that. But it's a huge AOE attack. Deals damage to all enemies. If any Sith or Jedi are damaged, you reset this cooldown. So 20k base damage on an AOE attack is huge. Doubling that against Jedi or Sith is going to be massive AOE damage, and then you're going to be able to use it every turn. And remember, you're not going to be able to prevent Darth Bane's turns, because when an enemy is defeated, he's going to gain full protection, health, and take a turn. So if there are other Sith or Jedi present, he is just going to wipe through people, doing massive AOE damage, taking out the entire team very quickly. So he takes a turn, does huge AOE damage, inflicts death mark on an ally. That ally then dies very quickly. Darth Bane takes another turn, uses his thought bomb again for massive AOE damage, and you just wipe through opposing teams if there's a Jedi or Sith present. So in addition to inflicting corrupted battle meditation on them at the start of the turn. So he is a very anti-Jedi, anti-Sith kit, which that was the huge meta, and still is. Even the Padme team has a Jedi on it, with either General Kenobi, Jedi Knight Anakin, General Skywalker is a Jedi. So pretty much all of your meta teams have a Sith or a Jedi. So he would just absolutely plow through these squads, but he would be susceptible to squads that don't have a lot of Jedi on them. So your CLS Rebel team, for example, would be able to do essentially do a lot of damage here. He's going to open up with a big AOE, but it doesn't do double damage, and then it's got a long cooldown. So he's not going to do a lot after that. You have to kind of take out Darth Bane last, but he's not a huge threat when he's just using basic attacks. Something like Imperial Troopers would really take advantage of Darth Bane inflicting Death Mark on an ally. Then they would get a death that would get their turn meter train rolling. And then, like I said, there's no Jedi or Sith there, so he'd do a huge AOE attack, but it would just be one time, and that would kind of be the end of it there. So, trying to be kind of true to his character. I wish we could see more characters like this, where they're very kind of niche characters. They in the rock paper scissors that we like to say. If he's rock, the Sith and Jedi would be the scissors, and then you're like COS Rebels, all of those other teams that don't rely on any Sith or Jedi would basically be the paper, and he wouldn't be overpowered. If you don't, this would be a character that'd be really fun to play, very, very useful in Grand Arena as a counter team, but it's not an overpowering meta where if you don't have him, you are falling behind, you can't climb an arena, that type of thing that we see with some of these overpowered characters. So this is the type of character that I really wish we saw more of. Now this is thrown together fairly quickly. I didn't test it because he doesn't actually exist in the game. So there might be some flaws here and there, but I think the concept is pretty cool. And I just wanted to share it because trying to get content out every single day for 14 days is a little difficult. So I thought I'd open it up to some other things and just to see how this is. So if you guys like it and want to see more, like I said, I've got a really fun Jar Jar Binks one. That's just an RNG nightmare to make him basically a troll character that I think would be really fun. If you guys want me to do the same thing for him or some other characters, I would absolutely love to do this because this is really fun. Like I said, I don't expect a lot of people to love this type of thing, which is why I didn't post it originally, but we're having fun. So I appreciate all the support you guys have given me during these 14 days of SWGOH content and just overall in general. You guys have been amazing.